world of handmade business can be tough when trying to monetize what you love. We've got truth bombs and motivation to help you find your way through. Passion to profit, let's start today, 'cause the world needs what you create. Tune in right now, it's your shot to learn how to be a handmade boss.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the How to Be a Handmade Boss podcast. I'm here with Jen.
Hi.
And we're going to be chatting through a few things today. So Jen, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Jen and I have my business Indy Bee Crafts, and it is a rustic but elegant custom wedding stationery business. I also do cards and things like that at Christmas time, but the mainstay of my business is wedding stationery. And I've been running it now for 7 years, which feels like quite a pivotal moment in the business, alongside my 2 little kids that I had. So I started the business when Indy was 6 months. And I've had another one since then. And Andy's now 7 and Finley is 5. So, yes, all the fun things of running a business with 2 little kids is wild.
That's so cool. So I guess Indy Bee Crafts, I guess that's kind of why you named it that, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, so it sort of started when Indy was 6 months. And one of my friends had asked me to do her wedding stationery. And I'd always wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can give this a go. And when Andy was napping, that's when I would craft away and work on little projects. Hence the name Indy Bee Crafts. And it actually started out as like a hobby rather than a business. And then when it came time to going back to work, I was quite busy with it. And we just didn't have the childcare. So I just decided to go for it, and I never went back to my job as a microbiologist.
I love that story, the fact that you were a microbiologist before. Yeah. That's like so different to what you do now.
Imagine me in a lab coat.
I did it. I touched on it in college when I did like the forensic side of things, and it was one of the subjects that I was the worst at, 'cause I just got so like, oh.
Do you know, I'm really interested in it. If I hadn't had the kids, I would probably still be doing that because I loved it so much. So it was a weird one to come away from a job that you really enjoy. But this just gives me total freedom and like the flexibility that I need in my life. And I do love this more, I think.
Yeah, I get it. So talk to me then a little bit about what your niche is, because you mentioned you are rustic but elegant. What kind of made you go there instead of like doing just general wedding stuff?
So when I started my business to now is very different, and I think just as you grow naturally, like in your style and what you like, it's kind of naturally came towards like the rustic elegance type stationery. I started off I would do like everything and anything for everyone, and soon realised, I know you're smiling because I soon realised that just wasn't manageable, and there would be projects that I would take on that I just wouldn't really enjoy at all. So now I've kind of found my style, my design style, the things that I love to do. And it's so much easier to get those customers that just are aligned with like you and how you feel, and to create their vision of their day. So I do a lot of like barn weddings, country houses, outdoor vibe. But I still say it's like elegant because it's not like rustic, just like craft card. It's nice with like wax seals and wildflowers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's very like country wedding almost.
Yes,
very
yes.
Yeah. So I think I think people have different kind of definitions of what rustic is. Like rustic to me is, I guess, like my friend, she literally hired a field. She had to do everything, and she literally hired a field, and it was like everything had to be done, like portaloos and tents and catering and electric and water and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I think like the country houses and like the barns and stuff, I don't know, I guess they're like one step up from rustic, right?
Yes, so that's how I can describe it, as rustic but elegant. But if you have any other ideas, then feel free to let me know how I could describe it.
I think like boho almost is very like nature like inspired. I think there's like a naturist wedding. Pinterest trends, I guess, is like your BFF, so you're always on there. Love it. So I guess we kind of touched on this a little bit, but tell me, like, what made you fall in love with what you sell? Like, I guess people have asked you to make stationery, obviously, but I'm probably guessing they've also asked you to make signs and seating plans and everything else involved. So what made you go, no, this is my bag?
What I love is mainly couples will first come to me when they want their invites, and obviously then I tend to do like the table plans and things like that to follow on. But it's so nice to have couples in that, like, it's their first tangible thing that they get from their wedding, and it's so exciting to have them at like that planning process. And I love just speaking to them and finding out about their story, and then like intertwining that into the invitation somehow. So we'll do like I've got a couple now whose husband to be is obsessed with tractors, so we're doing like on the envelope liner we're going to do a little tractor, and then the table names are going to be all different tractors. I've had to get them to send me a list because I don't know what what tractors there are. So it's just so nice, and that's my favourite thing, is just picking like little pieces of their story and then creating that into their invitations, but then also following that through to their on the day items as well. So that's my favourite bit, I think.
I love that. Do you have like meetings with people? Like, how do you kind of get to gauge? Because I guess a lot of couples, if it's their first kind of tangible thing, I guess a lot of them kind of come to you and they're like, we're engaged, and you're like, great, okay, so what's your style? What's this? And they're like, how do you
Yes.
get that information from them?
So a lot of people that come to me, especially brides that I meet, have a very specific vision in mind. Normally, that's the case. They've had their Pinterest board probably for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for the question to be asked. So I tend to find that people will reach out to me if they like my style. So on social media, or this year I've been doing a lot of wedding fairs, which is really nice because I can display everything and then people get to come up and like touch and feel and see everything. So after like the wedding fairs, or they reach out on social media, we'll have a chat, talk about budget and things like that, and then we'll get on like a Zoom call. And it's so nice to do that because then we can just sit down and chat through all their ideas, and then I can kind of come up with a few things. So we had the tractor one last week, so we've got that ball rolling now. So yeah, that's kind of how I manage the customer side of things.
I love that. I think it's so good, isn't it, to kind of be involved with someone's special day, where even if it's just like a little thing. And I think like as well, I mean, it's not a little thing really, because obviously like, you know, you do the invitations, probably the save the dates, and like you said, the table plans, and I guess maybe like the little, like the tent cards that go on the tables, and signs for like a sweet bar, or you know, whatever else. So I guess like you're basically branding their wedding.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. I'm going to use that tagline.
Go for it.
No, that's exactly what it is. And it's just making sure that it's very like cohesive and just shows a little bit of them. I think sometimes you can get, obviously people can go on camera and make a wedding invitation, but it's so nice to have just like something that is timeless, because I'm the type of person, obviously I always have been, but I keep every single like special wedding invitation from like family and friends. And how nice will that be in like 50 years if the kids want to look at mine and Jason's invitations and we can get that out and it's like a little time capsule of the day, just all there, all the information. So yeah, I love that bit.
That's really cool. Do you know what fascinates me the most is how do you make an envelope? I don't know why. Ever since I was a kid, I was like, wow, how do you make this?
So I buy the envelopes
Yeah.
and then I make the envelopes liners by hand. So you tend to have like normal measurements. So I just have like my measurements if it's like an A6 envelope or a 5x7, what I need to cut everything to. So I do everything in-house as well. So I've got my big beastie printer and my guillotine. So I'm always like this. Jason gets driven mad with the noise. I think it's relaxing anyway. So yeah, it's really fun putting it all together and to see people's reactions at wedding shows of like, oh, you do this, or like especially with the wax seals, people get really excited. One girl actually screamed as she seen them and like came running up. I was like, oh, I've never had that reaction before. That's good.
I love that. Yeah, the wax seal thing, very elegant and very, yeah. Ooh, okay. So, all right, I have a question then. What's the favorite part of the entire process from meeting a couple, having a chat with them? Like, what's your favorite part of all of that?
That's a hard one. So, obviously, I love the initial consultation and the excitement and getting to hear about their story. You know, it's planning a wedding can be stressful, but it's also such a lovely time and people want to talk about it and like celebrate it. So that part is really lovely. Mm-hmm. But then I am quite an introvert. So I like being at home and like printing, cutting, assembling, just in the peace and quiet. And I have my little like production line. And I think maybe when I was a microbiologist in science, you obviously like follow an experiment and it's very like set and you do this and you just kind of do it alone at the bench. And I think I just like jobs like that, where you are just on your own. Sounds really bad, doesn't it? But just on your own and you get to just like put music on or a podcast or an audiobook and then I can just sit and enjoy the process of putting them together. But then I also really like when they pick them up and I get to see their faces when they see their invites for the first time.
That's so cool. That's really, really cool. So, okay, I have one last question then about like the process is what do you listen to whilst you're like cutting? Because I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. So I used to listen to like, oh, nice lovey-dovey music. And now I like listening to like crime thriller audiobooks.
Well, that's a change.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going through a real audiobook moment right now. But so I'll just be making these like beautiful invitations and it'll be like a murder mystery in my ear.
Oh, I love that. I love audiobooks, but I love non-fiction. I guess you're more of like a fiction person. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. And I had a wedding show a couple of weekends ago and I wanted to make new table plans. But I was like, oh, I need to think of all these names. So I just put like into ChatGPT, like give me book characters, and then I named all the books that I love. So I had the table plan was just filled with book characters. And then everybody that was coming up and they were kind of getting closer and closer to the table plan. And they were like, oh, look at that. That's from A Court of Thorns and Roses or Harry Potter. Or that was quite funny. That was a good talking point, actually.
That's so cool. Yeah, because I guess like a lot of people, if they're into like the rustic side of it. For our wedding, we named our tables after garden birds. So
that's so you, Steph.
I know. We had like the wren table and the robin table. What we didn't think about was we had a blue tip table. So obviously you can imagine what everyone who was sat at that table, and we put all of the people who were like, you know, the comedians at that table. So after a few drinks, I go, oh, we're sat at the tip table.
But that's it. It's so nice to like have like a piece of you, but then also make it fun too.
Yeah, that's really, really important. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think that's so cool. And I think like all of the wax seals as well. Like I saw a reel, or was it a store? I think it was a reel that you did where you like doing the wax seals, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool.
That would be a nice hobby to have as well. Like it's very mindful. Like it's, I don't know, there's just something about doing something nice with your hands in the process that kind of relaxes you, as long as you're not on a time crunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, all the things you could do with wax melts, like letters to Santa, and like, oh, so many things, like holiday reveals, and that's so cool. I love that. When did you first come across me and Handmade Bosses? I guess they're kind of like interchangeable, but when did you first come across us?
So I think it was like 2018, 2019, I want to say. And I was this was just after I'd started. So I started in 2018 and I'd started my Etsy shop. And at this point I was just selling cards and kind of dipping my toe into wedding stationery. And I was on a Etsy help Facebook group that I'm not on anymore, because you know what they used to be like, terrible. And you had put up a couple of comments. You'd been helping people in the group, and you'd said that you were starting a new group, and it was going to just be, I can't remember what it was called, but it was going to be like a positive place. That was kind of how you wanted it to be. So I joined that group. And it was lovely. It was really, really nice. And then you were launching the HBSA in, was it 2020?
Yeah, May 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'd been following in the group for a while, and you'd really helped. My Etsy shop was starting to get traction. And then you said that you were going to release this course. And you've been so helpful so far. And I was like, right, if I make another sale today or this week, I'm going to do it. I was like, it would be a sign from the universe that I need to do this course. And then I got the sale, and then you released the course, and I think I was like one of the first people to sign up.
Oh my God. So you're like the OG.
Yeah, founding member of the HBSA.
That is fab. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and then it was just brilliant. I mean, it's changed. It did change the HBSA. I can't remember. It was Etsy Success.
It was called the Shortcut to Success.
That's it.
Yeah. For the
and I've kind of dipped it in and out kind of for years, because it's just been amazing, really. And it's always such a nice place to come back to when I've got more questions, or the business is kind of changed and I want to change how I'm doing things. And it's such a nice place to always feel like you can come back and get the answers that you need to push your business forward.
That's really cool. Oh, that's really, really cool to hear. The fact that you're like one of the first people in there.
Yeah.
And all the way back to like 2019, because I started the YouTube channel in June 2019. So that was when, yeah. So, it's like trippy. It's like, ooh.
I know. Because I had Finlay in the August, and I think I would just be like sitting while he was sleeping, and I'd put on like your YouTube stuff, or I'd be in the group, and it was just a nice place to be.
Love it. So, okay, so talking about the HBSA, or the Shortcut to Success, as it was, and that name very quickly got changed. What impact has the Academy made on your business?
It's been huge, Steph. Like, it's honestly been massive. I don't know if I would have gotten to the hard points and then continued, like pushed past it without the HBSA, because it was always such a nice place, like I said, to come back to when I was finding things hard or I didn't know how to do certain things like SEO. I mean, I still don't think I've quite got there with that yet, but I'm getting there. So yeah, it's always just been a place to come back to, and I think without it and without the help and without the community, it would have been really hard on my own to try and figure this stuff out, because you don't know what you don't know, basically. Yeah. And it's such a hard thing, especially if you come in and you start your business maybe as a hobby and then you think, right, okay, I want to turn this into something real. If you don't come from a business background or you're not that way minded, it's hard to know all the things. Whereas the course just sets it out in such an easy, simple way for you to follow it through and just be like, oh, so that's what that means, or that's how I do that. It's just been such a great place and a great resource to help build my business. And I think that's the reason that I've managed to do it for 7 years and hopefully for a lifetime more.
Love it. So we're going to see Indy working at Indy Bee Crafts, are we, when she's like 14, 15?
She's already got plans. Well, she actually helps me, and so does Finlay. They love doing the wax seals. So a lot of that is like them sitting up on my knee being like stamping, but they're actually really good at it. So I think, why not let them help me?
There you go. Sorted.
Totally.
Okay, so what impact has your business and the course had on your life, just like on a day-to-day sort of basis?
Well, it's allowed me to not have to go back to a normal job, and that has just been massive for our family. So it means that I can be home with the kids. I get to drop them off at school every single morning. I get to pick them up every single day. I can be at all the school activities, dance classes, football classes, all the stuff. Like, mum is always a constant, and that's the way that I've wanted to be a mum and be a parent. And so the fact that I get to do that is just wild, but also the most wonderful thing ever. So yeah, I think my business and the HBSA has just allowed me to have the freedom to live my life the way that I want to. So
yeah, that's definitely like a massive impact then, just allowing to be like present and do what you want with your time.
And as well, because if I had to go into a normal job, I would need to leave the house and get childcare, which would be a headache. Would it even be worth it if I was at a job? How would I figure that out? And I just don't need to think about those stressors. And Finlay was quite ill with like tonsillitis when he was younger. So I would have had to take so much time off work, and I just don't think it would have... I mean, I would have made it work, but I don't see how in my head.
Okay, so obviously the course has changed a lot. Well, it hasn't, and it hasn't changed since it opened in 2020. I guess the premise of it hasn't, but there's been a lot more added to it. I think we're on its 5th version now. What is the biggest takeaway that you had from the course, thinking about its wholeness?
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard question, Steph, because there's so much that I could take away. But let's say maybe in the last year and a half, because I've been through the course again, kind of in that space and time, it has really helped me focus on my branding, my business values, and really how I want to align that moving forward. I think that's my biggest takeaway this kind of year. So I did like a full rebrand, and just super aware of how I speak in my posts, who I'm speaking to, and it's just something's clicked in terms of that. And I think, like I said before, I don't take on the projects that I know don't align with, the business values and anymore. And I think just the confidence to be able to say no or say yes to big things, that's the biggest thing of recent for me.
You mentioned about the last year to year and a half. So how different is your business from, let's say, like this time last year?
I think it's just very aligned in terms of the designs that I put out, my social media posts now, the branding that I have now, all that has been wrapped up into a nice little bow. And I'm sure that it will change and evolve over time. But I feel like 7 years in, I have the business that I want to have now and really want to push forward in that direction. So I think that's been the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Love that. A question I really like to ask is, where do you see your business a year from now?
So, as you know, I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I think now that I've got to this point, I feel really, really excited about the next year. So I want to focus more on like completely bespoke and custom design. So working with clients from scratch and just getting their ideas and then coming up with something really special for them. So that's kind of in the design direction. I've already signed up for a bunch more wedding shows towards the end of the year.
Ooh.
Because I've had quite a lot of success from the start of this year. So I think more like in person and social media is going to be the route that I'm going to go down. I'm still going to have my Etsy shop with like all my, you call it like a semi-custom design. So I have designs that I make and then I'll put up and people just kind of change the wording or some of the colours. So I'm still going to have that, but I'm going to try and really push for the custom bespoke stuff. So yeah, that's my plan for the next year, and hopefully grow in revenue, and we really want a bigger house. So fingers crossed that that will come to fruition. Indy and Finlay share a room, so because I work in the third room. Yeah. So we really need a bigger space for me to have my big giant printer and all my envelopes.
You need like a she shed.
Yes. Well, that could potentially be the plan. So within the next year, because they've started mentioning separate rooms, we really need to get on with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, oh bless them. They're like, well, how come you get like 2 rooms?
Yeah.
You're like, because I pay the mortgage. Okay, so what crazy but true fact is there about you?
By me?
I know that you're a Harry Potter nut.
Harry Potter nut. I am double jointed.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. So, and I can't do a proper thumbs up. So if I do a thumbs up, goes like,
oh, it's like you're pushing your thumb like on a.
Yeah. I can't. Finley's got it as well.
That's crazy. I love people who are like double jointed. It's like, really?
It's a right angle. Normally people are very freaked out by it, so I just try and never do a thumbs up.
Are you like trying to keep your thumb straight?
Thumbs up, guys. But I just want to do that.
That's so cool. That's really, really cool. Oh my god, I never knew that. That is so fun. Is there any like bad things that come along with being double jointed?
I think there is for certain people. Like it can make your joints and stuff quite weak. So hopefully I don't get arthritis. But I've not experienced anything bad apart from the lack of proper thumbs up so far.
Good. And my last question is, what piece of advice would you give to yourself or someone that is where you were a year ago?
I think just to take action, but take action in a way that aligns with you. So don't be afraid to really write down your values and write down your goals and kind of push forward in that direction. You don't need kind of permission from anybody else, as long as you're staying true to yourself and true to your own values and your business values, then you'll do really well.
I love that. I love that. Okay, Jen, plug away. Tell people where they can find you. What have you got going on? Etsy shop, website. We'll pop it below as well in the show notes. And if it's going on YouTube, in the YouTube description. But tell us all the things. Plug away.
So I have everything, Steph.
Wow.
My website, which is indybeecrafts.com. I have my Etsy shop, which is Indy Bee Crafts, so you can find my stuff on there. And then all my socials, mainly Instagram and Pinterest, are at Indy Bee Crafts.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that is amazing. So you're on Pinterest, you're on Instagram as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, yeah, but I don't. It's just my mum that comments there.
So if you want to have a chat with Jen's mum, you can go on Facebook.
My mum or my mother-in-law, that's the two people that always comment on my stuff. I do get traffic from Facebook, but my main ones are Instagram and Pinterest.
Love that. Well done you. It's so good to hear more about Indy Bee Crafts and kind of know more about your journey and kind of where you're going with it, and just finding out more about the process. Like, I find all of that really fascinating to just kind of see how all that works. It's really, really cool. Thank you so much for joining us. And just leave a comment again if you're watching on YouTube, and go and check out Jen's stuff, especially if you know someone who's getting married, or Christmas things, or I guess like maybe party invitations. Is that something?
Yeah. I have a print service as well, actually. So if you've made your own invitations on like Canva, or you've ordered a template, then I can print that off. And I use my really nice wedding stationery card for that too.
Oh, okay. So that's another option as well. Ooh, possibilities. But thank you so much for doing this. And I hope you guys have enjoyed listening / watching the conversation. And thank you so much. And we will see you all really, really soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to How to Be a Handmade Boss. And if you're eager to boost your Etsy sales within just 7 days, then be sure to join my most popular free training at handmadebosses.com/conversion. You can also find the link in the show notes as well. Keep an eye out for our next episode, where we'll be continuing our journey towards handmade business success together. And until then, keep crafting and stay inspired, because the world really does need those special creations that only you can make.